Good morning, traders. I want to bring I I want to bring this video to you because we have a lot of coins in our hot list, and I'm afraid that with my 20-minute time caps, I'm going to overdo the video tomorrow. So what I'm going to do this week, because altcoins are definitely heating up, we've seen a lot of big pumps lately in the altcoin market. So what I want to do today's video or this week is split it up, and I'm going to first video be subtracting coins that have already pumped from last week. So we'll take out all of those coins that have pumped, and then in tomorrow's video we'll be looking at the coins that have remained, why I thought they were worthy of remaining, and as well take a look at a few new coins this week. All right, so let's get started here. First of all, always start with Bitcoin, right? Our big dog, our lead dog, and it is playing out exactly. All right, and I hate to say that every time. For the last 3 weeks I have been saying that because at some point it's going to trick us, right? But it is coming down here nicely. I would like us to dip even a little bit lower, really, and test this 44,800 support a little bit more. That to me would be more positive, more bullish before we proceed onwards and upwards or sideways. More likely this next week is going to be sideways trajectory, which will be good for altcoins. All right, so let's get started on our list here. First one I have is AMP. AMP still remains on the list, and we'll talk about that in the other video, but doesn't seem to have pumped just yet. I think it will happen soon. Atom we're going to take off the list. You can see here that since I put out the video a week ago, we broke to the upside of this trend line, and now it has made its pump. And at the top of the wick here, that was a pump of about 15%. So we're going to take that one off the list. Could go farther, but we've met our resistance level. So I prefer to take these are just the best of the best. All right, I tag my favorite coins purple, and then I scour through that list, and these are the ones that, in my view, have the most immediate capability of pumping. And 15% is a good pump. Yeah, we could go further, but I'm going to take this one off the list here. All right, gone. Can you guys see that list? Yeah, you guys can see the list. I didn't know if I had that in the screen view or not. All right, so Atom is gone, and next one is BICO. BICO has pumped since I put it on the list, and if you want to be honest, I sold right here at this resistance level only because I was in it since down here, so I had already made my gains of over 50%. Some of you made up to 60% on this one. If you followed me in this trade, congratulations. I took my profits here. It went much further. You can see it went all the way to the 100-day and then came back down and is now sitting on that support. Nevertheless, BICO has had its pump, taking it off the list. All right. You could look to re-enter where it's at right now, quite honestly. Because we know a lot of these coins are going to meet the 100-day moving average, and some of them are, many of them are already meeting the 200-day moving average. So they're all warming up, trying to get closer and cozy with that 200-day moving average. On this chart, BICO hasn't been around long enough to establish a 200-day moving average. But I imagine that the 200-day moving average, well, let me put it in the VPVR, and that'll kind of give us an idea of where our 200 is. So it looks like BICO is probably at the 200-day moving average once it starts to trace on the chart. We're above the VPVR right now, which is where all the volume was traded, and it's sitting on a very important level. All right, so Baiko is still a good trade. It's just not worthy of my this week's hotness list. All right, so that is why I'm taking that one off the list. Comp has pumped, has met all of its targets, and this was one of my free trade alerts. If you follow me on TradingView, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you are, you've got this one. But again, if you didn't get it on some social media channel, the best way to do that is come over to studam.us and subscribe. You'll get all of my alerts. This was a free trade alert, and I mentioned we were below the 50-day moving average at this point when I put out this video. Let's see what the profit is if you held to target number 2, which is definitely a higher risk trade. You gained 45% on that one. All right, so congratulations to those of you. I'm taking this one off the list. It has pumped. Fourth. All right, fourth we have here recommended. It looks like it did make a little bit of a pump. Yeah, I can go further, but at this point, because we have this big candle here, when I have those big candles, that takes a lot of the momentum already out. I mean, we had a 12% pump just in that one candle. So I'm taking this one off the list. Yeah, it still has room to go. Probably will go all the way to the 200-day moving average. But we've taken a little bit of wind out of the sails here with these big green candles. So I'm taking this one off the list. I can only leave the best of the best here. And this is all for you guys. These are free, putting out these trade alerts. Basically, you can pick. I don't tell you which ones I enter, but if you're a subscriber, you will know that. All right, Gods essentially had a little bit of a pump. Now I see this one going way higher, but it is off. See this RSI down here? This is the daily RSI 14 close. And we're off this RSI quite a bit. So I think with this one that Gods could come back down and really test that 50-day moving average one more time before it proceeds up. And for that reason, I don't want to leave it on this list because some of you will probably want to jump into it and then you'll lose this money and you'll say, what, this Stu guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's because of where it's at right now, essentially halfway between the 50-day and 100-day. It's not in a position where it's really ready to rocket. All right, so for that reason, I am taking this one off the list. So we're going to really narrow down this list, guys, and hopefully that'll be better in the next video when I go over the ones that are ready to pump and why. All right, so this is Graph. Graph has, you can see there's a bull flag here. All right, hit that, it pumped up. Another bull flag here, pumped up, now forming or pressing against this support here. We've had quite a run since I first recommended this. So for that reason, I have to take this one off the list too. Now, again, all these coins can go much further. I'm not saying that they're not going to go further. I'm just saying that they're not in the prime technical analysis. They're not exemplifying the prime technical analysis patterns and indicators showing me that they're ready to pump. All right. So these guys have already pumped, and that's taken a lot of steam out of the momentum already. Though it could go further. Again, the 200-day moving average is up ahead here, and all of these coins are looking to get cozy with that 200-day moving average eventually. It's just a matter of when. But for my this week's hotness, I have to take that one off the list because I want only the ones here that are ready to really move. Iotx, you can obviously see that one has pumped. All right. So this one, I don't even know if I had this in last week's video. Some of you guys might remember because I've added some of these since then, and I can't keep track of the ones that I've added and the ones I have. But anyways, I added this one, and right after I added, I believe it pumped. And those of you who were watching this, I know I have in my paid subscribers group on Telegram, which we do chat back and forth. Some of the guys in that group were talking about this particular coin Congratulations to those of you who made 65%. That is some good gains. All right. Taking that one off the list, obviously. Iotx. I mean, we've had our pump. All right. So I was down here at the 50-day when I recommended this. Went all the way to the 200-day. That's 20%. That's a 20% pump. And that's enough to have me remove this. All right. So I think this week's hotness is going to be a little bit harder to catch the good setups because a lot of these coins have already pumped. Now, Jasmy, I'm going to leave on. I think Jasmy is starting to follow technical analysis, first of all. That's a good sign. I told many of you guys that I would not be interested until we skirted the upside of this descending trend line. That's number 2. And number 3, I have been tracking the wallet that I've been mentioning, and it is no longer involved in suppressing the price. All right, so I think we're seeing some good things here. In fact, the wallet that I have been focusing on is almost empty, almost completely empty again. All right, that's not to say that they're not suppressing with other wallets or other coins, but I mentioned in my last Jasmy video that 6-9, all right, 6-9, I know that has a sexual connotation, but 6-9 is a signal of reverse, right? And since I saw the 69 tokens enter that wallet, I have seen a reverse of suppression action. All right, so I think that's what that indicated, and suppression is done. Jasmy, leave this one on the list. I think we could come down and touch the 50-day. I'll review that in tomorrow's video. I put this one on the list, and you can see it's pumped, taking it off. So we're really narrowing down this list. So those of you who saw last week's video and followed some of these trades, you guys made some good cash here. All right, KRL, I am leaving this one on the list, though I don't really like the setup here. The reason why is because now we are back under this 100-day moving average, all right? And we have the 20-day coming up to press us a little bit. And the reason why I will leave it on the list is because that 20-day could give us enough momentum to do another pump. But if it doesn't, if we collapse below the 20-day, we are going all the way down here to the 50-day. And so it's kind of a risky crypto for me to put on this list. It has to meet all of my requirements. I really hesitate. I'm going to leave it till Monday because I can take it off then if it's looking like we're going to collapse lower. But for now, I will leave this on the list only because look at this big green candle, guys. That means somebody with a lot of money is interested or is pumping this occasionally. That was a 178% on that one candle, and that happened over here, I believe, after 2 weeks ago. I recommended this, so it did pump from where I recommended it, but I'm leaving it on the list because we have had such a big retracement, and I think it could pump again. Look at this, RSI is down in decent territory again. All right, so it's not all the way in oversold. Leave it on the list for now. Mana, all right, so we broke to the upside of this descending trend line. Looks like we're kind of forming a bull flag here, and looks like we could see more upward price action. I'm a little bit torn about leaving this one on the list because we got that 100-day overhead again, just like KRL. I don't like it when those 100 days are overhead. I'm going to leave KRL on, but I think I'm taking Mana off the price list or off this week's hotness. Now, a good sign is it has only dipped below this 200-day moving average once. Well, that was right here in this area. All right, that's the only time since the 200-day was formed that it's dipped below. And with altcoins being hot, you know, it's not going to go below that 200-day. That much I can say. The question is, how high would it pop? How high would it go from here? This is tough. I guess I'm going to leave this one on for now. I was going to take it off, I know, but I'm going to leave it on only because we have that 200-day below. Altcoins are hot, and it's really never dipped below the 200-day, even during our retraction, which is a very good sign for mana. All right, so I'll leave that one on the list. MCO2, leaving this on the list. We have the 20-day below us and the 100-day, and we have a nice sideways RSI indicator, which is showing us lots of accumulation. All right, volume is low, but look at what happens when volume comes. We are going to spike huge on this one, leaving this one on the list. Big bull flag here on mirror. All right, big bull flag, and looks like we've got the 100-day underneath us. Looks like we'll go to the 200. I'll leave that one on the list. New has spiked since I'll be honest, I entered this one before I even recommended it. I entered it over here, and so where I sold was actually the 50-day. All right, and you can see that arrow there pointing to the 50-day. I thought that was good resistance, and I'll take my 15% profit on that one at that point. Of course, we did skirt the 100-day. Looks like we're going to use that as support now to get above this descending purple trend line, and maybe we go all the way to this 100-day moving average from here. However, that is not prime setup. It's not. It could happen, but we need confirmation to know it's going to happen. Where I'd put this back on the list is if we skirted that and came back down and kissed the top of that descending triangle before going further. At that point, I would put us back on the list, but for now, I'm going to have to take new token off this week's hotness. All right, where are we at? OMG. OMG looking good. Now, what I'd like to see with OMG is I'd like to see us come back down to that 100-day. Because we're right here in the middle of the 100-day and the 200-day moving average, I can't leave this one on the list. This is a great coin, but it's not prime set. It's not primed for a pump action from here. It's not in the best setup, so I am going to remove this one. OXT, I like OXT. Now, I entered at this entry target, free information for you all. I entered at 29 cents, 28 cents approximately, right when we came back down. You'll remember another video I did, or a post maybe. It was a post. I said, okay, we've come back above this ascending trend line. Now I'm interested again. I was not interested in OXT down here. I don't care how much potential it has, but when it's below this black ascending trend line, I just wasn't interested. I told my paid subscribers I would be interested if we came back above it. We did, and then we came down and, as I suspected, retested this previous resistance, now support. Now I believe we're going higher, maybe all the way to the 200-day. So I'm leaving this one on the list, even though we're still kind of in between the 100-day and the 200-day. Polls had its pump since I added it, taking it off the list. You can see above this descending trend line. That's where I was interested, but I couldn't catch it there because I was invested in other things and already had its pump, taking it off the list. Ren had its pump and is now coming back down, taking it off the list. And I'm going to wrap this up really fast now. Sand could still pump. Suku had its big pump. All right, went all the way up here. Many of you made 40-50% from where I recommended it, and that's how much this one pumped. But it is done with that pump. Still, again, all these coins, good coins, but I got to take this off the list because it's not in prime setup territory. UMA, I left this on the list only because I like UMA so much, and it's kind of flirting. It's got to get above this, ascending trend line. It's really not the prime setup, so I'm going to take it off the list, but I like it as a coin, and in fact, I am invested in it. Wrap Fusion token obviously had its pump. Now looking to descend, and this is your target for re-entry. That is my video, guys. I'm out of time here. So tomorrow's video, I'll review the coins that I've added and the ones that I've stayed on and why. All right, until then, take care, happy trading, and peace.